Hi, it's Gwenny Square. And somebody just asked on Froggy One and Knitting about winding yarn. So I'm taking a skein of yarn that's starting to not be so great. Sometimes they look even worse than that. About like this. Whenever you start getting into this. If you do not have a ball winder, just start out wrapping some around your fingers. Then, once I get to a certain amount, I wrap around the center and I fold it in half and start wrapping, and then easily just start turning the yarn and keep wrapping and turning and pulling and start making it round. Sometimes it ends up being flat square occasionally, but as you go, you're going to start getting a twist around look. And you'll probably hear my dog Petey over in the background. He's chewing on a rawhide. And put the Petey hair out already. The shittiest dog you've ever seen in your life. Don't know why you ain't bald. So as you're going around and turning, you're getting the standard look of a yarn ball. I do have a yarn ball winder. I have actually 3 of them. One of them does not have a cone. One's wooden. 2 of them are plastic. And just keep going. And I sometimes pay attention to how the X's are and rotate them around. So whenever I get to a certain point again, sometimes you got to move and hold the yarn so you can get it to do what you want it to do. And some days it's therapeutic. Some days you end up with a bunch of knots in a skein that has collapsed, and you have to get yarn barf or yak or yarn mess, nest, untangled. And while you're untangling it, you're winding it. Every once in a while, I will have 2 balls started off of one skein because of different issues with the knots. And when that happens, it's because you're going from the outside of the yarn and from the center pull of the yarn just to make a yarn ball. So, and this one's like pumpkin orange or carrot orange or something that I'm using. It was a Red Heart Super Saver. The label's missing. It's because I went and grabbed it out of the yarn room so I could make an orange square for a multicolor blanket that I'm working on. This Granny Square Connect As You Go. That if we have the fair this year, I do believe that blanket's going to go to the fair for something different. Working on my plans for different things to go to the fair. Okay, so see, it's kind of oval. So I'm going to start on that part and then come around and go over on that part so I can start getting the oval out and get it back around. And it's just a process of Whether you want to do it clockwise, counterclockwise, over the top, or let's see here, let me change it around. Over the top, do under, because you might get bored and want to change up on it as you're going around and around and around as you're making a yarn ball. So, let's see. Kind of curious as to how long it's going to take to do this one. Okay, so see, it's kind of rounding up a different way now. And then you might get to a point where you're just turning that ball all different shapes and ways and sizes. And this is your typical look of what they say that cats like to play with whenever it comes to messing with your yarn balls. And I've not, just have to kind of figure it out. That's a minor one. I've dealt with worse blobs than that before. And let's see here. Oh, yarn blob. And so, don't know that this hasn't become one of my very longest videos of Gwenny Square. So I have to say that this video gets credit for being made because of Free-Handedly Made Niecy. And I'm not quite sure how all of her channel goes, but she was the one that asked while we were on Froggy Winter Knitting with Daniel from the Paw Pie Guys today on September the 26th, 2021. And I always have to say thanks to David Browning with the Bearded Yarn Dudes, because if it wasn't for David, I would not have learned how to get on this side of the YouTube yarn stuff. And I always love Julie Chaffee Massa. I love Frenchie with Frenchie's Fiber Files and Carrie the Yarny Elephant. You'll have to check out the Carrie inspired video that I have with the elephant that I made. And definitely have to give a big thanks to the wonderful work of Crystal with Bag O' Day Crochet, because I've been watching her for years and she really supports the yarn community. I've also watched Jada and Stitches. I've watched several others, and as I go on with other videos, I'll do some other shout outs too. And thanks for the inspiration from all of y'all. And definitely have to say thanks to my mom, Hazel. Rest in peace, Mom. But I've done a whole lot more crocheting on blankets than you did, even though you taught me. And so it's amazing that the stuff I have learned from YouTube that expanded what my mom taught me how to do when I was 8. So we're talking about over 40 years worth of crocheting off and on. And my kids will tell you that if it wasn't for certain ones of the ones in the community of yarn like Bag O' Day and Jada and Stitches, that I'd still be just making granny squares and I wouldn't be making elephants. So anyway, thanks to all of y'all. And I cannot believe that this video and that my camera have done longer than 2 minutes. So anyway, like, subscribe, share, comment. Hopefully the comments are turned on. If they're not, you can always send me a message to GwennySquare, all lowercase, at gmail.com and say, hey, go get your thing fixed. I'm still learning about YouTube. But thank y'all and have a great day. Love you. Bye.